Chair, I'm Job Moura, Head of Press.
Is that all, Governor? Okay.
Yeah, so thank you, Governor, and welcome. We more perceptive, as you may know, we had sought to have a number of conclusions on these issues, and one of the things that we're very keen on as a committee is the dignified handling of residents from these various estates, 13 of them to be particular now, in the middle of this development process. We wanted to have a conclusion on that, whether that is being handled in a just and dignified manner. But then the second issue that we were very keen on as a committee is to be able to explore from both your perspective and the representative's perspective whether there is good agreement and perhaps even some guarantees of what happens after the development has been done. Will the residents get fair share of, whether allotment or otherwise, provision of the same unit after development? I think this is really the major issue in this kind of development: the current state of affairs and the future state of affairs. And wanted to establish a congruence between the county government and the residents of these 13 estates. So we have just gone through a comprehensive status update, which I want to take you back to, because most of those materials actually came from your side in terms of updating the Senate. And I wanted to give just the members time to perhaps canvass on those materials that have been read by the clerk. Then now, because the governor is here, perhaps then I'll give the governor to lay bare his status report, and then we can open it up as a conversation between us, the governor and the leaders, esteemed leaders from the estates that we have represented in this house. I might also tell you, Governor, that we had sought to have 13 estates come, but unfortunately we only have 5 who have come. Partly we own up because that was a problem from our secretariat. I think that they were not able to reach to the other 8, but nonetheless we have agreed that we will find an avenue of convergence in terms of just being able to engage those other 8, because I think that it's important that all of them are engaged in this process. So go ahead, Senators.
Chair, with your permission, it will be useful for us to know which representatives we have. I know they had introduced themselves.
Yes.
But I'll be happy to also know who exactly we have.
We will just give you the name of the estates, and most of them, there are leaderships that are here. But then I will request that when the time comes that you're given to give a contribution, when you be contributing, just say your name, your designation, and the estate where you come from, for the benefit of the governor and the House. I think that would be good. So, Clerk, may you go ahead and read the estate represented?
Thank you, Chair. We have Lumumba Estate, Ofafa Jericho Estate, Maringo Estate, New Pumwani, and the Woodley Estate. So we have 5 estates.
There are only 2 estates here. That would be Kariobangi North and Woodley, that are at the project execution phase. And I have not seen the representation from Kariobangi North, perhaps because we had agreed that we would want to hear from the residents on what is transpiring on the ground. Perhaps you could take the representatives from, say, Woodley first, and then maybe Lumumba, because there were certain promises or undertakings that were given by the governor with regards to engagement of the residents in those areas, with regards to this particular project. But just from the recap there, I was proposing to my colleagues here that we make follow-ups on the specific matters that had been agreed upon, including the questions of the MOUs with the residents, whether that has been done, in which estates that has been done, the status of public participation in the remaining estates, because we only have 2 where the project has taken off. The binding agreements, or the agreements with the developers in those other estates, and maybe we take it from there. But I would like to hear, Chair, with your permission, from the representatives of the estates on what exactly is going on currently, especially for those that Governor submitted public participation had problems, and where projects have begun.
Other members?
Chair, that's okay. Would benefit from that lead. Though I don't know, Senator Sifuna, whether you'll be amenable to a situation where we first allow the governor to give us a status report on the 5 estates that are represented here, so that then we can now get the residents to react to what the governor said. Then we engage them going forward. Because, Chair, remember what we said when we began, we need to bank some things here. Today, at least, let's conclude on certain issues. I don't know whether Senator, that would be fine with you.
That would be fine. I was only being sympathetic to the governor who has just walked in, to give him some time to acclimatize. But if he's ready to go, I have no problem.
I know this climate.
Order.
And I like it.
Order, Governor. Senator Chute?
I think I support what Senator Umbo has just said.
Okay, very well. I think I'm in congruence with the 2 of you senators. But before I give the governor, perhaps Senator Miraj has just walked in. Please, Senator Miraj, may you put yourself on record?
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Senator Miraj Abdullahi, member of the committee.
Thank you, Senator. Very well, Governor. So could we perhaps just have a status report from you? Because I think that actually will help us even have some input from the representatives, because that will be like a more, almost the ultimate kind of update that you can be able to get, to be able to have a sober conversation with the representatives. So, Governor, I want to give you this chance to perhaps give us just an update from yourself and from your office, and then I'll open it up.
And so, Chair, as the governor does that, I would actually want to hear from him in presence of the residents, telling us and the country what is materially different between this regeneration program, the affordable housing, and the social housing, so that we don't mix issues. If we are dealing with the generation, then how different is it from the affordable housing thing? Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. And Governor, perhaps for the benefit of senators particularly, and also the residents in general, should you have any hard copies that you'll be referring to for this particular session? Just in case, if you have, it will be in order to perhaps share with the senator at these points that as you make reference, you can be able to refer to them as well. Governor, it's your time.
Thank you very much, Chairman, and senators, and of course, my esteemed residents of Nairobi. Chair, I'll give a brief background. First of all, you've asked about documents. The documentation is, I presume, the same that we had given before, that is with you. I'll not make any reference to anything else apart from just history, which I know of. These are estates, thank you for the water, that we have known, we have lived in, we have relatives who are part of this residence. And so this is something that is very important to all of us as the people of Nairobi. Chairman, the 5 estates that are mentioned are part of many more estates that Nairobi County government owns and intends to improve through our urban regeneration and urban renewal program. These estates were built right from the 1930s. If you look at Ziwani Estate started, the blueprint was in 1939. and it was the lead architect and consultant there was one G. Fletcher. It was one of the first African decent housing settlements in the city. Before that, Africans were staying in squalor and in really terrible conditions, as has become the case now in many parts of the city and many of our urban areas. Jericho is also one that is historic from the 1950s. It's an estate that has produced a lot of Kenyan heroes. The first person to raise our flag, hoist it on Mount Kenya, Kisoi Munyao. We've had Napunyi, the boxer. We've had Barack Obama Sr. and many of these people, you know, who lived there. And you'll find the remnants of their history, because the nature of these estates, and the residents will tell you, is that a lot of these houses are passed on through the family. So you'll find a child, an uncle, leaves it to a nephew, and that is the case as it is in all of them. Woodley, and I can see my friend representing Woodley here, was started by Sir Richard Woodley, who was a councillor, rather named after Sir Richard Woodley. Again in the 1940s, that one housed more of our senior staff of the city council. It was a bit more affluent, you know, the kind of houses you had there have more space. More land. There were initially 300 tenants at Woodley, which is why the development we're doing, phase 1, is called 300 Woodley. And I can go on and on about all of those. Jericho, of course, you know, is named